Hey guys, thanks for joining us again for another Family of Chaos video. We are up to episode 2 of our labour stories. So today you're going to be hearing from Courtney and myself. So I'll kick us off. That's it, I'm Courtney. And I'm going to tell you my story about when I had Jacob. Jacob is 5.5 now. He was born in November of 2014. I had a really smooth pregnancy. It was really easy. Then when we got to about 36 weeks, I started going in and out of early labour quite a lot. And I think that was due to my husband. He went away with the army. So he left when I was 36 weeks, and that was just a lot. So when that was happening, we got to about 39, I think it was about 39 weeks, and one day, and I went to the hospital. I was like, I'm really not coping. I'm not actually leaving here until you get this baby out of me. So, which was really hard because they were like, you're not ready. And I'm like, I'm telling you, like, I can't do it any longer. I'm really not leaving until, like, I'm not leaving. Yeah. Get the baby out of me. Get this kid out of me.
I was crying anyway. And I think mental health wise, they could see that I was really not coping. So they booked me to be induced the next day. So I was 39 and 2, and I went in for an induction on the 10th of November at 10 a.m. And when I went in, I actually had the cervical tape, which they put inside your cervix. Okay. And what it does is sort of like soften everything and, you know, can sort of get your body a bit ready, because obviously, as I said, I wasn't fully ready. So
and before speaking to you, I'd never heard of the tape as a form of induction. Like, I've always heard of, you know, the stretch and sweep, and there's like a gel and stuff.
Yeah, and it was actually, so they had 2 kinds, and this one was actually like a clinical trial one. So they were trialing 2, and the condition was obviously that I had to stay in hospital. So some women could get the tape and then go home, but I had to stay in hospital. Right. So I was up there the next day, they popped the tape in, and then that was at 10 a.m. And then by 12 p.m. I was having contractions every 3 to 5 minutes. They started off very, you know, normal, like a bit of uncomfortable period pain, and then they just got progressively worse. My mum was with me, and we spent a lot of time just like wandering around the hospital, and until probably about midnight that night. That's when it became really, really uncomfortable, and I sort of jumped in the shower, I jumped into bed, trying to get a little bit of sleep, because I knew I was in for a long time, I guess. Yeah. And I was eating some toast, and then I just remember having this like feeling, and I was like, oh, I think my water's just broke. I'm not sure. The midwife came in and checked. She was like, no, nothing. And I was like, oh, wait, okay. So I stood up, and yep, sure enough, my water had broken.
Floodgates open.
Floodgates open. Yep. Here we go. Crazy. We're in business.
Yep.
And it just really kicked off from there. So once my waters broke, my body pretty well naturally started kicking things off, and the contractions still continued 3 to 5 minutely from there, but they got stronger and I guess would come in waves, and become harder to manage. Once it was about 3 a.m. they took me down to a birth suite place. I called my best friend because she was coming. She met me there, and we just sort of laboured from there. I had a bit of gas. It made me quite sick. I actually vomited on my midwife's feet. Oh. I was like, I'm really going to spew. I need a bucket, and there's just no time for a bucket.
No.
So I had a big old spew, and I remember saying to the midwife, at what point can I have an epidural? Because I had known most of my pregnancy that's the avenue I wanted to go down. Went into this with a very like, I don't want to be traumatized by childbirth.
For sure.
So I was happy for that, and she said 6-7 centimeters. That's sort of when we would, you know, cut you off almost. And I was like, oh, okay. So every time they would check me, I would sort of ask how far along. So they said, you know, this is where we're at. You're 6 centimeters, and I said, where is the anaesthesist? Get them in here. I'm
absolutely
ready.
6 centimeters. Yeah, it's game time.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's go. I don't need to wait any longer. We've been doing this now for 18 hours.
Wow.
And I was like, mate, I'm done.
Yeah.
Tap out. See you later. And once he got it in, it was pretty cruisy from there on.
Yeah, awesome.
So from about 6 till 10 a.m, I was just chilling. And then I really got that urge. I was like, oh, I could feel the pressure. And I was like, oh, I think I need to go to the toilet. I don't know.
Because the sensations are so similar.
Yeah.
Like, it literally feels like you're going to do a number 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just like, all right, I don't want to do it right here.
And that's what I said. I was like, do I need to go to the toilet? But like, you can't feel your legs. So you don't know.
Yeah, well,
I'm like,
the epidural,
yeah,
for sure.
that's exactly right. I had said that to her and she said, oh, it's probably time. And they checked me and sure enough, I was 10 centimetres. And I started pushing and it was very hard because you can't feel anything.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
it's all about having to listen to them and go, you tell me.
Yeah.
For about 2 hours or just under 2 hours, they had said, look, we're getting concerned. His heart rate keeps dipping. After a period of time, we are going to have to make a decision. We're going to give you half an hour, and if you don't progress from there, then you know. Sure enough, nothing had progressed, so they prepared me for a cesarean. In there, my mum was with me. She was all gowned up in there. I remember laying on the table and the lights and all the doctors and nurses and, you know, everyone was there. And that was probably a bit more daunting than the whole thing. I think just like being in that room, it was like it's very cold and it was like, oh, I don't really like this. So I was like, I really, really want to do this naturally. So they suggested giving me an episiotomy, which is what they did. So they cut me and then they used a forceps to pull him out. Well, he took him a little bit to cry, but they said with the amount of how long my labour was, how long he was in the birth canal, it was a bit of a delayed process, I guess. So he was a bit stunned almost. And once he was sort of lively and well, we were down to the maternity unit and we were done. Here's your baby, see you later.
That's it, out you go.
I don't look back on it and go, like, that scares me.
Right. And so, like, and that's where it's so different because that sounds so daunting.
Yeah.
You know, compared to mine, because mine was so easy. So, like, we'll get
yours
into
was
it
quite
soon.
short, wasn't it?
It was very short.
Yeah.
So, like, it was about 6.5 hours from when my waters broke in the morning to when he was born.
Yeah, so that's
and
like...
so, like, that was it. It was just go, 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 go.
And
so
that's the thing, isn't it? I think no two birth stories are exactly the same.
They're never the same.
But I think you should tell us yours.
Yes, well, I always feel like I'm bragging when I tell my birth story. Bragging's probably not the right word, but because in comparison to a lot of people who are really, you know, are really terrifying almost, that are, you know, traumatic, mine wasn't. So I was up until 3 o'clock in the morning, finishing the final episode of season 7 of Game of Thrones. Go to bed, everything's fine. Half an hour later, 3:30 in the morning, I roll over, have that pop sensation like you're talking about, and it was literally just that big gush down the bed. I'm just like, oh my goodness, roll over, wake up Nate's father, just going like, oh my God, my waters are broken,
It's time, it's happening.
time. Oh my, like, what do I do? And so he jumps up and it's just like, okay, I said, I'm just gonna go for a shower. Can you strip the bed? Like,
Let's just take a moment
like,
to
okay, what do we do? Where do we go from here? So I had that big pop all the way down the bed. I went for a shower, and that's when, like, gross alert, that's when my mucus plug was. So I could really see my show in that. Came out in the shower, I suppose. As true Emily fashion, we hadn't installed the car seat in the car yet. So we're like, okay, should probably do that, considering I'm now in labour. So we pop outside at 4 o'clock in the morning, start installing the car seat. So there was about a 45-minute lull from when my waters broke to when my first little niggly contractions had started. So I remember calling my mum at around 5:30, and by then I was getting some serious contractions. Like, I'm like needing to hold my breath and be like, all right, Mum.
And that's only 2 hours too. So like, that's not a lot of time for your body to really kick into it.
Definitely. And hindsight, I'm thinking, no, it's not as bad as I think it is. It's not as bad as I think it is. Whereas at the time, Mum's going like, you should probably go to the hospital now.
Maybe
it's fine. Like, no.
It really hurts, but I'll be okay.
It's okay. Highly recommend the hypnobirthing. And so it's all about mind power, you know. Our body is designed to do this, to grow this human and to birth it, you know, as naturally as possible, which was my goal. And so, I was really control. It's a wave. It comes in, it reaches a peak, and then it goes out again. I remember my shoulders tensing up so much, like waiting for the contraction, but it's just like, no, relax the shoulders, and it's just in the belly. So Nate was born on Anzac Day. So it was Anzac Day morning, 2019, 25th of April. And my partner at the time, so Nate's father, he, was a smoker. So he is just like, nah, I am not ready. I do not have the cigarettes for this today. So he calls up his two brothers who are on the way to the dawn service. He calls and says, hey, can you bring me over a pack? You know, Em's in labour. They're like, yeah, no worries. So here we go. I'm in labour, you know, walking around, trying to control. And then I've got the two, brother-in-laws. So we've got the youngest, he's sitting in the corner just going like, I'm here if you need me, but please don't need me. And then we had the middle brother who was really helpful. So they kind of like, him and Nate's dad alternated in. So they would like hold my hands, one would go for a quick no, the other one would come in, they'd kind of swap.
Swap
so that
in
was,
and out?
yeah, so that was kind of fun. I was really sad that my mum was coming up in about 3 days time. So she wasn't here for my labour. So I was a little bit quite disappointed on that. Call the mother-in-law. So we gave her a call and she comes over and she was really helpful, you know, holding my hands and really, she'd been through it. She's had three children herself. Gets to around 7:30, 8 o'clock and it's getting pretty intense. Like I was ready to go. Another contraction would kick in. They were layering on top of each other. We were trying to find any kind of routine, any consistency in the contractions and there were
try
none.
and time them.
Yeah, there was none. I would have, you know, 2 really big ones and then have a break for 3 minutes and then have another little one. And then 5 minutes.
Really
like they were all over the place. And this was the point that I should have been at the hospital.
Yeah, right.
I'm sitting there on the couch. I've got the mother-in-law on one side and the brother-in-law on the other side. And so breathing, and then all of a sudden my contractions had instantly changed to my body trying to push.
Oh,
Involuntary. It was happening. And I'm just going like, oh my God, I am not ready for this. Nate's dad on the phone to the midwife. I've got the brother-in-law ready on the phone, ready to call the ambulance to say like, we're about to have this baby at home.
Like, help us.
And I've got the mother-in-law sitting there just going like, okay, like she's like, what do you want me to do? What do you need me to do? And so the midwife is just kind of like, all right, we need someone. Is there someone there to check to see if you can see the head? So sure enough, the mother-in-law is kind of like, are you okay with this? I said, I don't even care. To be fair, when you're in the midst of labour, all dignity and everything just goes straight out the window. You do not
just leave it. Like, oh, I left it somewhere.
Whatever. Yeah, it's at the front door.
See you later.
So yeah, so she's just like, do you mind? I said, nah, go for it. And so she has a look, nah, can't see anything. The midwife is like, if you're game, stick some fingers up and feel if you can see like how dilated she is. See if you can feel the head. She's like, do you mind? No, I don't care. Just do it. Just get it over and done with. And so, yep, sure enough, she steps up to the task and she said, nah, can't feel the head. Midwife is like, all right, jump in the car. Let's get you to the hospital. Really lucky we only lived about 7 minutes from the hospital. I timed it to make sure that it's just like, all right, if we get all the lights, we can make it in 5.
Yeah.
If not, 7 if we get stopped at a light or 2. So that was fine. The mother-in-law is just like, all right, go get her a blanket. She needs a blanket, wrap herself up in to get in the car. Nate's father goes to the room and he brings out one of baby's brand new, softest, one of the most fluffy, most gorgeous blankets ever. In the midst of labour, I'm not using that! Go, get me another one! Like I'm yelling and screaming at him, just I'm not using that. So I end up grabbing one of my throw rugs off the lounge, which is fluoro pink, by the way.
Just give me something.
Just anything. So I've like wrapped it up between my legs so it's like this big nappy. We had previously arranged for a few friends of ours, they were getting rid of their TV and ours had just blown up. So they were delivering us a brand new TV.
Oh no.
Sure enough, as I'm hobbling out to the car, 3 of them have rocked up in their car ready to deliver this TV to put in our lounge room. Just going, oh my God, what's going on? Em's in labour, Em's in labour. Oh my goodness. So we jump in the car. Mother-in-law, sped us over to the hospital. That was really great. To the birth centre. We'd already beaten our midwife there. So she had called ahead and one of the other midwives who was closer, she had all the doors open for me and she'd already run a spa bath.
Oh, she's good.
So that was really good. So I talked about, as a bit of a birth plan, to have a bit of a spa bath as a bit of pain relief. So once I got there, saw the bath run, said, great, stripped off, went and jumped in. Half an hour later, he was born.
So tell me about like that moment. Obviously, you're in the water. You would see him. Like, was that like? Did that make you feel anxious knowing that he would be like in the water?
Yes and no. So I remember going from the chaos at home to getting to the birth centre and then getting in the spa bath. It was kind of a moment of quiet.
Yeah.
It had gone from having all these people to everything going on. I was so nervous to then having my midwife there, and then it was nice and quiet. And it's just kind of like, okay,
being in a safe place.
Yeah, exactly. I tried a little bit of the gas, wasn't really doing it for me. Yeah, so it was just that quiet, it was really nice. And so then, my partner at the time was just like, what do you need from me? And I said, can you FaceTime my mum?
Yeah.
So it's just like I really, really wanted my mum there. So, and it's Anzac Day, and so they had their service going on down where they live, down in Victoria. So yeah, so mum, you know, she went inside and she sat down on the couch, and like you can see her, I've got some screenshots of me in labour, and she's got like the little face at the bottom, just watching and just being there. So that was really nice. Yeah, so it was really interesting. So then going like, okay, he's crowning. The midwife had a mirror, so down in under the water, so she could kind of, you know, check and see if everything's going. So yeah, I remember I got to the stage where once his head was out, we just had to get past the shoulders. The midwife's telling me just one more push, his head's already out, and I'm like, can't you just freaking pull him out? Just
grab
pull
his
him out.
head,
I'm so done. Like, just get this thing out of me. And she's just like, just one more push and one more push. And sure enough, so she's just kind of like, all right. So gently leaned back, and she like, and it was really good because she talked me through the whole process.
Yeah, right.
So I leaned back. She's just kind of like, all right, you know, feel him, and like very gently.
And
just
could
like
you feel it?
him out. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
wow.
It was really bizarre. So yeah, like I reached down and birthed him myself.
Oh,
So,
that's so
had that
incredible.
that really gorgeous slow moment, because my midwife's just like, just remember that he's going to take his first breath once he comes out of the water. So yeah, I brought him up out of the water. He had some gunky stuff on his face. It literally just looked like big loogie boogers, and just instinctively I just grabbed it and like pulled it off his nose, and you could hear it all suck out his nose. So that was great. So I pulled it off, and then that's when he started crying, and it's just like, and that newborn cry just
That
gets me
sound of him taking
every
that
time.
first breath is the most magical sound.
Yeah. And it was
ever.
amazing that I was holding him. Like I could watch that all unfold. That's when midwife invited us to climb out. I still hadn't birthed the placenta by then, so that was still inside. And I'd spoken to my midwife a little bit about delayed cord cutting.
Because there's so much valuable stuff in there.
And so my midwife literally let me feel the cord pulsing. Like you could feel the heartbeat coming in and out of the umbilical cord, which was insane. Like it was amazing.
That's incredible.
So cool. She helped me like birth the placenta, so she kind of like tugged on it, and then she left it in like a kidney dish next to me. She like covered it up and stuff. So he was attached to his placenta for about 2 hours after birth. So I had that skin to skin contact, and it was just that beautiful moment. And got him and laid him down, and the midwife, you know, checked over him, made sure all his toes are separate and his fingers, and so she was doing all of that while we were present, which was awesome. Like I think
there was no taking him.
Exactly. You know, we were right there. And can I say, if you're preparing for labour, that after labour first wee, oh my goodness, the relief. Like when you're getting to the end of your labour and you need to like wiggle on the toilet to try and make sure it's every last drop out, and then as soon as that baby's out, like it just would not stop.
But I think it's like scary too, because like after that like happening to your body, you're like, oh Jesus, I don't know if I can cope with anything else coming out of me. You know, that's when you go from going to the toilet every 15 minutes.
Literally. Just
to apparently having this big bladder. It's like,
it was insane. Like that was something I was not prepared for. And it's something, you know, probably so minor that people don't even think to talk about. But it's...
And I totally agree. For me, it was the after birth shower.
Okay.
It was like, I think, you know, all that adrenaline
definitely
pulsing through your body, and obviously I had the epi, so I didn't have, and once I got used to my legs back, which was only about 2 hours afterwards.
Okay, fantastic.
And the lady was like, are you ready for a shower? And I was like, yeah, I am. And I got in the shower, and honestly, I had the biggest feel of my life, and I felt so much better.
Yeah.
To just go, it's over, I've done it. You're a
legend. Definitely. And that's the thing, and that's where labours are so different, because I suppose I was in the bath. Yeah. So I never really felt like, you know, I just wanted to kind of refresh, let's go for a quick shower. Filmed Nate's father cutting the cord and putting on his first nappy, and all of those precious
special
moments. It's been amazing, because it was through the birth centre. Textbook labour, textbook pregnancy, everything was, you know, to a T. Midwife is just kind of like, all right, we kind of have to keep you for 4 hours, but 3 hours later, we were ready to go home. I
think overall, we did pretty well. Like, I think it's pretty clear to see that how different labours can be, I guess. And, you know, Kaylee and Caitlin's are, I guess, very different again.
Absolutely. So, no two labours are ever going to be the same. No. So... like don't take our labours as gospel. That these are just our personal experiences. So, and
I guess, as we said, if you're not interested, trigger warning. Don't watch it.
Literally.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. We're really excited. We're coming for part 3 with Caitlin with the twins.
And
life story
and some
questions.
Q&A questions
Yeah, cool.
submitted by you guys. So if you have any questions about either Caitlin's or Michaeli's or myself and Courtney's, then yeah, DM us, send us a message,
Yeah.
like, subscribe, share.
Thanks, guys.
Love it.
See ya.